one of a two-part video series on putting together a banner ad in Photoshop. This first file is just all about setting up your file to make it ready to put into the video timeline mode in Photoshop. So I've got multiple layers here. Created this whole thing like this, and in essence what I really have, I'm working backwards by turning all these eyeballs off, is I built it from the bottom up. So to start with, there are three background screens that I've chosen to build: a gray background, a blue background, and another white background. So the item that would end up sitting potentially all on the gray background is this. The items then that I would put on a blue background would be these two. And then ultimately the white background would end up having these elements on it. And I'm choosing to build these from the bottom up. Obviously you can move the order of any of these things anytime that you want, just by sliding them around here until I get to this kind of gray bar in between the layers, and then I can let go. But I think this is probably the easiest way until you've done this a few times, rather than starting from the top down to work from the bottom up. Only problem is it's so slow to click through all these things, and after a while it might get confusing what's really done and what's not done, or is there a layer that you still need to go back and tweak because you're having to turn tons of different eyeballs on and off. So Photoshop has the ability to group things into layers, and so that's what I'm going to choose to do right here. I'm going to click on all the parts from a white background. I'm holding the shift button down as I'm going through and selecting all those. When I have all those pieces, I'm going to come up to the little sandwich icon at the top of the layer palette, and I'm going to pull down and I'm going to let go on New Group from Layers. And I could just leave it as Group 1, but I'm just going to call it White, just to help me remember what's going on. As soon as I've done that, it's buried all those layers inside this white folder that I can open up or collapse by clicking on this caret. So now I'm going to turn off the white layer. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab the two things that are on my blue layer. And I'm going to, again, sandwich icon, New Group from Layers, just call this blue. And as soon as those are done, I'll turn the eyeball off on that layer, and then I'm going to grab all four of these things, and I'm going to turn the, one last time, sandwich icon, New Group from Layers. Let's call it gray. Now that I have that, it's going to be faster for me to say, well, is my white thing done? Is my blue thing done? Is my gray thing done? Nope, I need to add something to the blue thing, so I can come and go back and turn the eyeball on in this, open up the caret. I could add more layers or anything like that. If I wanted to, I could make a new layer of something else, and then I could go ahead and tell it to be inside the blue folder. So I could always add or delete, or I could grab this and yank it way out so it's no longer in the blue folder, and I could come back and I could put that one in the white folder. Just this one called Layer 1. But I'll get rid of that. So I'm not stuck to keeping things in these folders once I've made them. I can still drag things out and drop them here and then put them somewhere else, or I can continue to add things. So that's the first thing that I would do, and I think it's an easier way to be able to set it up so that you can kind of just stare at each one of your screens to think, is this about what I had in mind for each of these?